10 ultra-violent moments of Bane where he unleashed his Berserker rage. Bane's Berserker rage is a sight to behold. When he gets angry, he becomes a force of nature that is almost unstoppable. His already impressive physical strength and speed are amplified to an unimaginable level, and he becomes a one-man wrecking crew. Over the period of time, Batman and his allies have learned time and again that Bane is far from a pushover. And quite honestly, the venom-pumping villain has broken more bones than Batman cares to remember. In this video, we will explore the 9 instances when Bane unleashed his Berserker rage and became a marvelously unstoppable force and an immovable object at the same time. Without further ado, let's start this back-breaking, bone-crushing ride. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you, and let's begin. Number 1. Bane violently beat Bruce Wayne and buried him alive. In the 2000 film Justice League Doom, Bane united Batman with his parents, but that did not really put a smile on the Caped Crusader's face. So the Justice League and Cyborg were on a mission to stop the Royal Flush Gang from robbing a diamond vault. The gang had technology provided by a real nasty dude named Vandal Savage, and he wanted the gang to test it before he could use it for a bigger plan. Savage was up to no good. He had this crazy plan to wipe out 2/3 of the population and start a new civilization. And get this, he hired Mirror Master to hack into Batman's super secret computer to steal some plans that he had. These plans were for taking down the Justice League if they ever went rogue. Eventually, Savage got the likes of Ma'alefa'ak, Cheetah, Star Sapphire, Metallo, and Bane to join him and called them the Legion of Doom. These guys chose different members of the Justice League to attack and eliminate or incapacitate, and it was decided that Bane would take care of Batman. Batman received a distressing message from Alfred. The graves of his parents, Thomas and Martha, had been exhumed and the caskets were missing. Clearly more than a shock to him. The graves of his parents, the people who had meant everything to him, had been robbed. Filled with anger and grief, he visited the graves to look for clues. The caretaker of the graves initially told Bruce that he didn't know who committed the crime, but when Bruce talked about making the culprits pay, Bane revealed his true identity. In a matter of seconds, Bane turned into the hulking monstrosity that he was and attacked Bruce Wayne. Bane knocked Bruce out and threw him into the empty grave before throwing in the headstone dedicated to Thomas and Martha. When Bruce woke up, he found that he was not alone. The skeletons of his parents lay with him. Although Bruce managed to find a way out by punching through the grave from the inside, the event was a traumatizing one for Bruce. I mean, could you imagine how it would feel to be buried alive in the grave of your own parents? Well, it's just too dark. Number 2. Bane beat the crap out of Batman. Titled Batman's Backman, the 5th episode of the 2nd season of Harley Quinn had Bane do something worse to Batman. Let's find out. So in the episode, Batman had been in a coma for a few months now, but he woke up from it to find out that his precious little city had been plunged into an ocean of crime, criminals, and sheer despair. He had just woken up from his coma and was clearly weak, but Batman, being Batman, decided to wear the cowl and the cape once again to save his city. Since he was not strong enough, he asked Lucius Fox to build him a batsuit, and Lucius conceded to Batman's demands, building him a batsuit made of titanium, complete with an AI named Monica and all the tech support that Wayne Industries can think of. However, Batman was not really Iron Man, right? This guy's superpower was not just his wealth, but his personality and skills. Meanwhile, Two-Face and Bane joined hands to ensure that Batman was repelled. The Bane in the show was actually quite a one-dimensional character who was often used as comic relief. Batman found a hideout where Two-Face's thugs were transporting stuff and easily took them out. However, he soon discovered Bane. Batman tried telling Bane that Two-Face was using him, but Bane wanted to prove that he was equally in charge of the partnership. Enraged, he pumped himself with venom, the drug that gave Bane his powers. The two of them engaged in a fight, and although Batman started to bleed, he had the upper hand on Bane. But that didn't quite last long. Bane took another shot of venom and hammered Batman with punches and kicks. Soon enough, Batman's titanium suit became damaged beyond repair, and this was opportunity enough for Bane to literally break Batman's legs, thanks to the relentless pummeling. It was quite refreshing to witness Bane's triumph in this fight solely through his immense strength, especially after repeatedly portraying him as a one-dimensional villain that Batman could easily defeat with just a few strikes. On a side note, although Bane was supposed to be an all bronze and no brains kind of guy, the line "I am the shadow that haunts your darkness" sounded pretty cool to me.
If the world is full of monsters, the only way to defeat them is to become one yourself.
Number 3. Bane violently beat Alfred to death, almost. The 10th episode of the last season of Gotham had some shocking twists and turns, but probably the darkest scene was the one where Bane and Alfred confronted each other. In the episode, the military was deployed by the government to initiate the process of mainland reunification, but Bane, who had been transformed by the strength-enhancing drug Venom, captured Gordon and Bruce. Bane was later assigned to kill Barbara, who was in labor at a clinic. but Barbara got help from two unlikely allies, Cobblepot and Enigma. Unfortunately, Bane eventually caught up to Barbara. In a rather shocking turn of events, Alfred came to help Barbara, but got badly beaten up by Bane. Alfred threw 4 good punches at Bane, but the venomous villain beat the old military man down to a pulp before picking him up like a ragdoll and seemingly breaking his neck. Played by the A Walk to Remember and Nikita star Shane West, the Bane in the show seems quite like Tom Hardy's Bane, albeit West's Bane was much skinnier than Hardy's.
You cannot beat Bane.
Number 4. Bane destroyed Batbot with his bare hands. In the second episode of the animated show, The Batman, Bane had another encounter with the Caped Crusader. Here, Bane had taken a contract to eliminate Batman from a few thugs. When the two of them met for the first time, Bane beat the hell out of Batman and left him to die in an alley, but Batman was saved by Alfred, who took him to the Batcave to recuperate. During his recovery, he tinkered with some equipment from Wayne Industries and constructed the Batbot, a giant armored suit controlled by a series of servo motors. Once he was healed, Batman donned the Batbot and set out to take on Bane once more. The two met at the Gotham City Bank, and the battle was intense. Bane, having injected himself with a super drug Venom, had tripled in size and transformed into a red-skinned brute. Despite the added protection of the Batbot, Bane nearly destroyed Bat. The fight spilled out into the street, and the two continued to exchange blows. In a moment of desperation, Batman grabbed an exposed live wire and jammed it into the injection port that supplied venom to Bane's brain. The sudden electrical surge interacted with the drug and forced Bane to revert back to his normal physical shape. Bruised and weary, Batman called Alfred for assistance and waited for his trusty butler to arrive and collect him. So you see, the Batbot was this huge robot complete with weapons and technology that was supposed to end the menace called Bane. And if Bane could take down this behemoth Batman-themed robot, Bane could do just about anything. Number 5. Bane almost killed Commissioner Gordon and Batman. In one of the episodes of the new Batman Adventures, Barbara Gordon as Batgirl got attacked by Scarecrow and she fell down the ledge of a skyscraper. Gordon learned the real identity of Batgirl and blamed Batman for his daughter's death. But the department asked him to stay off the case as it could cause a conflict of interest. Denied a chance to serve justice and exact revenge, Gordon met Bane at the Stone Gate Penitentiary and sought his help in return for a reduced sentence. Close to the end of the episode, Bane found Batman and the two engaged in a fight. Things were not looking good for the Dark Knight, but just when Bane was about to finish him off, Commissioner Gordon arrived and shined the bat signal right on Batman, blinding him for a second. Bane wanted to finish Batman off, but the Commissioner had got other plans. He wanted to take Batman down and lock him up in Arkham with all the other crazies. You know, poetic justice. However, Bane wasn't into that idea, so he attacked Gordon instead and almost gave the father the same fate as his daughter. But that was when Batman struck back and slammed Bane into the Bat-Signal. They kept fighting, but Batman managed to fry Bane's venom tube and take him out. Now it was time for Batman to rescue Gordon, who was still hanging by a thread. Unfortunately, Bane was not quite done yet, even though he didn't have much energy left in him. He managed to send the bat signal crashing down towards Batman and Gordon. They tried to dodge it, but it was too late, and they got knocked off the rooftop. It turned out that the entire ordeal was simply a fear toxin-induced hallucination of Barbara Gordon, who was afraid that her father would not approve of her nightly business with Batman and the Bat family. Wait, that came off a bit wrong. Anyway, even though it was simply a hallucination, Bane proved his might, and thankfully, he wasn't quite the one-dimensional character that animated shows have portrayed him to be. Number 6. Bane almost drowned Robin. The second season of Batman the Animated Series had an episode titled after the venom-loving Bane. So in that episode, Bane had Robin chained up to a crane with weights on his legs. Bane then dragged Robin into a hole that was quickly filling up with water. Batman showed up, and Bane came out to fight him using his venom to give him an edge. But Batman was not one to back down, so he used a harpoon gun to send Bane flying into the ocean. He quickly saved Robin, took off the chains and weights, and they both climbed out of the hold only to find Bane's back all ready for more. Bane tossed Batman aside and pushed Robin back into the water. Meanwhile, Batman was still going at it with Bane, but nothing seemed to be working. Batman threw a batarang, but Bane caught it and crushed it like it was nothing. Bane started to overpower Batman and told him to beg for mercy and scream his name, but Batman was not one who could be cowed so easily, right? Bane picked him up and was about to break his back when Batman took out the device, pumping the venom into Bane's body. The venom overflowed into Bane, causing him to writhe in agony before he finally went unconscious. Batman disconnected the main tube from Bane's head, rendering him harmless. Although it wasn't one of the worst things that Bane had done, you've got to admit that the episode showed just how potent Bane could be in hand-to-hand. I mean, Batman was an expert in what? 127 different kinds of martial arts, and yet Bane managed to subdue Bat. That's strength you cannot really match if you are not a metahuman. But the comics haven't really established that he's a metahuman, so Bane is something else entirely. He's probably what Batman would be if the Caped Crusader was all about muscles. Number 7. Bane almost killed Killer Croc and destroyed the Batmobile with bare hands. The same episode actually began with Rupert Thorne hiring Bane to eliminate Gotham's heroes, especially Batman. So Rupert Thorne, the big boss of Gotham's underworld, was pumping some iron in his fancy gym when his assistant suggested that he might not be in the best shape to be a crime boss. Thorne didn't take kindly to that and knocked the guy out. But then Bane walked in. Thorne paid Bane to take out Batman, and the venom-pumping villain agreed, but Bane suggested that before taking down Batman, he would want to see Batman fight Killer Croc. This would give Bane an idea as to how Batman fought, what his skills were, etc. I guess this way Bane was extremely smart. He did not wish to underestimate his enemy. Batman and Robin showed up just in time to catch Croc and his gang stealing from a warehouse. After taking out the baddies, they chased Croc into the sewers, but momentarily lost track of him. Unfortunately for Croc, Bane found him before the superhero duo. Bane used his wrist device to pump in some juice and took out Killer Croc like he was swatting a fly. Batman and Robin rushed to Croc's aid, but it was too late. Croc was out cold and there was a big hole in the wall. Although the fight took place off screen, Killer Croc was beaten to a pulp so much that he did not even flinch a muscle as Batman and Robin pulled him out of the sewers and into safety. Robin figured whoever did that to Croc must be a tough dude and maybe even on their side. You know, someone who was fighting crime like the Bat. But when they got back to their ride, they found that the Batmobile's been trashed, and it looked like it was done by someone with superhuman strength. Batman admitted that whoever did that was no pushover. Number 8. Bane beat Wildcat in Batman. Bane appeared in one of the episodes of Batman the Brave and the Bold, in which Batman was trying to stop Bane from escaping. Batman took help from Wildcat, another DC superhero. They found him in the subway, and Batman used a batarang to pin him to a pillar. Wildcat thought the guy didn't look that tough, but Batman warned him that there was more to this guy than met the eye, and Wildcat couldn't be more wrong. Bane activated his venom system and grew several times larger and stronger in a matter of seconds. Wildcat wasn't happy. Bane took out Wildcat and started coming after Batman, but Batman tried to go for his chemical tubes. Bane grabbed him and lifted him up, but Wildcat used the batarang from the pillar to cut the tubes. The venom from Bane's system spilled out and touched the rail, electrocuting Bane and knocking him out cold. Had it not been for the electrocution, Bane would have broken Batman's back, just as he did during his first encounter with Batman in the comics. I mean, he was getting into the position, but Brave and Bold was one of the cleanest Batman shows ever, and they probably did not want to show all the backbreaking stuff.
Oh, your buddy!
Number 9. Bane broke Batman's back again. Alright guys, listen up. It's time for the best part of the video, or at least it's my favorite part. Batman went toe-to-toe with Bane in his sewer lair after getting some intel from Selina Kyle. Batman was doing his best to keep up, but his body was weakened from years of isolation and not enough training. Well, that's what happens when superheroes go out of commission and live in their mansions without hitting the gym. Bane was just too strong and too fast for him, you know? Super strength and insane fighting skills and all that. Even though Batman hit him with everything he had, it was like he was hitting a brick wall. Batman wasn't the unstoppable force, but Bane was sure the immovable object that Joker spoke about in Dark Knight. Bane had a plan though. He took Batman to Wayne Enterprises' secret armory and revealed his plan to bring his twisted version of justice to the city of Gotham. But giving Batman this shock wasn't enough for Bane, who had started to wonder what would break first, Batman's spirit or his body. Bane lifted the uber-rich superhero and brought him crashing down, breaking his back and leaving him paralyzed. He then tossed Batman into the pit, the same place he was imprisoned in, and left him there to watch as Gotham City burned to the ground. Bane wanted to psychologically torture Batman and let him suffer as Gotham fell apart, unable to do anything about it. And he said that once Gotham was in ashes, then and only then would Batman have his permission to die. It was a crazy scene with Bane showing off his berserker rage and Batman struggling to survive. But in the end, it was Bane who came out on top. He had broken the bat and brought him to his knees. It was a dark day for Gotham, and things were only going to get worse from here. I guess what makes this scene one of the most awesome scenes in the movie is Bane's sheer determination to break the Caped Crusader on all fronts, psychological and physical. I mean, Batman had tried all his life to keep his identity a secret, but the day his identity became known to an external person, he turned out to be one of the most ruthless criminals in Gotham. You've got to give credit to Tom Hardy's Bane for being the awesome villain of an equally awesome movie. He was probably not as vicious as the likes of Joker and Ra's al Ghul, but he was still way better than most villains in most superhero movies. How I wish I could see more of Bane. Oh, and by the way, don't forget to check out our video on Bane's anatomy. It's got everything you need to know about his origin, his use of venom, and the effects that the drug has on it. If you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.
Ship it!